How's it going, everybody? You're on Sports Talk. I'm your host, Charlie Pete, and I wanted to go over this Georgia Bulldog and Texas Longhorn matchup. Now, we know this season Georgia has been a second half team all year long. I mean, they had a couple. They've had a couple close calls already. They almost got beat by Auburn. I mean, one or two plays, would have went different for Auburn. Georgia would have gotten beaten. On their schedule, I will say that there is one team that I think that is going to knock off Georgia, and that's just their rival game, GT. If y'all all remember last year, they went into that's where Carson Beck got injured and taken out, and then they put Gunnar Stockton in. They went in like 3 overtimes or whatever. It took 3 overtimes, and Georgia barely come out of there alive. I think Gunnar Stockton ended up with a concussion, right there at the end of the game or whatever. But this year, GT's for real. They've only lost one ball game, and I think honestly the game that they lost was really because they overlooked that team a little bit. And anytime you overlook a team, or you think you can just show up and everything take care of itself, sometimes it just don't happen. But I think if there's a trap game on Georgia's schedule, it's definitely going to be GT. It would not. Honestly, I think Georgia Tech will beat Georgia, and they're going to get knocked out of the playoffs. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about the Georgia and Texas matchup. So right now, Texas is teetering on the they already have 2 losses. So. And Georgia's got 1 loss to Alabama. We all know that. They can't get over the Alabama hump. Alabama's taking up rent in their heads. Anyway, but yep, Texas really needs to get this win for them to have a chance to make it to the college football playoffs. Georgia could take a L and still make it, but so the thing is, if Georgia loses to Texas, the Texas Longhorns, and already, if they were to lose to Texas, I'm pretty sure GT's going to beat them regardless. So it's not looking very good for them, for Georgia. I mean, let's see who Georgia's got left on their schedule here. Take a look real quick. So they just played Mississippi State last week, which beat Mississippi State 41-21. So they got Texas. Now a little bit about Texas. So earlier I mentioned that Georgia has been a second half team. Now, if you look at Texas Longhorns they've played nine games now. If you take and figure what they scored in the first half of the ball game, first 2 quarters, and each of those games, and you average it out, they're scoring on average about 14 or 15 points is what it averages out to be. In the first half. So, and that's looking at the whole body of work from start of the year on. We know there was a lot of talk about how. Let's see here. Hang on a second. Let me find something real quick. One second here. Anyway, there was really high hopes for Arch Manning. And I think honestly he had a lot of pressure on him. With his family, his uncles and grandfather. They're all college legends and NFL legends. I think he had a lot of pressure on him to perform well. And I do believe he's a good quarterback, but I mean, can you imagine the immense pressure? Start of the year. You got ESPN and all these football channels talking about how well he's going to do and this, that, and the third. And he felt, he just had so much pressure that he had to go out there and, perform. He had to. And so I think through his first, and not only that, but being a, first year starting quarterback. But I think, he after several games in now, I think the pressure's kind of subsided, and he's playing a lot better. He's throwing about 70%. I think he's average. Yeah, he's throwing about 70%. And also, Alabama obviously, put the L on Georgia. All right, and that was just solely because we had a pretty decent passing game. Now, we don't have much of a running game. Now, I will say, Texas is averaging, at least, with their running backs 100, 150 yards, a game. So, you take Arch Manning, he's gotten better. He's putting up 250, 300 yards a game in passing yardage. And then you take a couple of these running backs, putting down 85 to 100, 150 yards rushing. And if Texas comes out and starts fast, and Georgia comes out and starts slow, Georgia's going to be in trouble real quick. I could see this is going to be a really good matchup. I think it's going to be. Georgia did come out, I will say, in their last, against Mississippi State, against Ole Miss. They did start a little bit faster. I think Ole Miss was the first game where they started a little bit faster. They knew, when Lane Kiffin comes, he's always got a high-powered offense. They're going to put points down on the board. The final on that game, that was 43-35. But Georgia don't have the defense they've had, especially when they won their back-to-back national titles. So they still have a decent defense, but they just don't have the great defense that they used to. So we'll see what happens on Saturday. If Texas starts fast, this would be a good game for Arch Manning to shine. Not only that, but if Arch Manning can throw for 250, 250 yards, with a 70%, passing percentage, and they can get the running backs in the game, maybe put down 85 to 100 yards, Georgia could be in trouble real quick. I do know Texas needs this game more than Georgia does, so I think they're going to have that little extra fight in them, just because of that. If Texas loses this game, they're out of the playoffs, period. Georgia still has another chance, In this day it was 12-team format. You can lose 2 games and still get in. I think you could possibly get in with 3. We definitely didn't see that last year. I think Alabama, could have snuck in there. Alabama definitely had a harder schedule than some of those teams like SMU and whatever was in there. And I definitely think, Alabama got, it's just not fair on some of these other teams. Their schedules, they're really easy, truthfully. And not just, yeah, I'm an Alabama fan, and but it's just the truth. The SEC is, it's just always been a tough conference. And look at Alabama. We've already beat already 4 straight, top 25 teams. I think a couple of them was in the top 10. So, and Alabama's had the toughest schedule this year. So, anyway, I'm gonna give a score prediction on what I think the final score will be. I'm gonna give it to Texas by 3 points. I think my final score prediction, I'm gonna say Texas wins 17. Let's see, 7 to 7. Let's say Texas wins the ball game 24 to 17. That's going to be my final score prediction. Texas wins 24-17. Anyway, if y'all like this video, share it. It's a new channel. I love football. I've always been an Alabama fan, so I'm gonna try to start, making a few videos a week. But to be honest with you, I'm a little nervous. This being my first video. Hopefully, I'll get past that and bring some good content. Sub up, leave a comment. Tell me what you think the score is going to be. Leave it in the comments below. I'll read all the comments. Share this video. Smash that bell, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.